The emergency beacon's pulse pierced the darkness of space like a knife, drawing Commander Maya Rodriguez's attention to the derelict Horizon Research Station. Her ship's sensors indicated minimal power signatures, suggesting the station had been abandoned for months, if not years. This was supposed to be a routine salvage mission for Stellar Corp, but something about the station's silence made her skin crawl. Approaching Docking Bay 3, Maya announced to her AI companion, ARIA, "Any signs of life?" "Negative, Commander. However, there are unusual energy fluctuations emanating from sublevel B. The pattern doesn't match any known technological signatures in my database." Maya's fingers tightened around the controls as she guided her ship toward the station. The massive structure loomed before her, its once pristine white exterior now stained with cosmic debris and scorch marks. This was no ordinary abandonment. Something had happened here. As she secured her helmet and checked her equipment, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that she was about to stumble upon something far beyond her mission parameters. Her orders were simple: retrieve any valuable research data and mark the station for demolition. Standard corporate cleanup procedure. The airlock cycled with a hiss, and Maya stepped into the station's main corridor. Emergency lights cast an eerie red glow across the walls, creating shadows that seemed to move at the corner of her vision. Her boots echoed against the metal floor as she made her way deeper into the facility. ARIA. Scan for structural integrity and atmosphere composition, Maya commanded, her hand resting on her pulse rifle. Structure is stable but deteriorating. Atmosphere is thin but breathable. Warning: detecting unusual electromagnetic interference in sublevel B. It's affecting my scanning capabilities. Maya accessed the station's layout on her helmet display and began making her way toward the source of the anomaly. The journey through the station revealed signs of a hasty evacuation. Personal items scattered across floors, abandoned research terminals, and half-eaten meals frozen in time. As she descended to sublevel B, the electromagnetic interference grew stronger, causing her equipment to crackle and spark. The corridor ahead was darker, the emergency lights having failed in this section. Maya switched to her helmet's night vision and pressed forward. That's when she heard it, a sound that shouldn't exist in an abandoned station. A soft, rhythmic pulsing, like a heartbeat, but with an otherworldly resonance that made her hair stand on end. The source led her to a heavily reinforced laboratory door, its security systems still actively running despite the station's power problems. Maya's authorization codes shouldn't have worked, but to her surprise, the door slid open with a groan of protesting metal. Inside, bathed in the blue glow of a containment field, was something that defied explanation. The creature was about the size of a large dog, with iridescent scales that shifted colors like oil on water. Its 6 eyes tracked her movement with unmistakable intelligence, and its long, elegant limbs were curled beneath it in a pose that spoke of exhaustion rather than fear. "ARIA, are you seeing this?" Maya whispered, approaching the containment field carefully. "Affirmative, Commander. The creature appears to be of unknown origin. No matches in any known xenobiological database. Warning: detecting signs of severe malnutrition and psychological trauma." Maya's heart clenched as she studied the creature more closely. Its body showed signs of medical experimentation, small scars and healing wounds that told a story of suffering. According to the still-functioning terminal nearby, the creature had been here for over 3 years, subjected to tests and trials that made Maya's stomach turn. The creature lifted its head, meeting Maya's gaze with eyes that held both wisdom and pain. It made a soft trilling sound, almost musical in nature, and Maya felt something she hadn't expected: a connection, an understanding that transcended species. Her comm unit crackled to life. "Commander Rodriguez, status report," came the cold voice of Director Pierce from Stellar Corp headquarters. Maya's hand hovered over her comm unit as she watched the creature. Her orders were clear: retrieve data, mark for demolition, leave no traces. But as she stood there, Watching this intelligent being that had endured years of torment, she knew she couldn't follow those orders. "Commander Rodriguez, do you copy?" The creature tilted its head, all 6 eyes focused on her, with an intensity that seemed to peer into her soul. In that moment, Maya made a decision that would change not only her life, but potentially the course of human-alien relations forever. "Copy, Director," she responded, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "There's something here you need to know about." Director Pierce's response came after a lengthy pause that made Maya's pulse quicken. "Commander, your vital signs indicate elevated stress levels. Is there a situation we should be aware of?" Maya watched as the creature in the containment field shifted, its iridescent scales rippling with patterns that seemed to respond to her emotional state. She had to choose her next words carefully. "Sir, I've discovered evidence of unauthorized experimentation." The station wasn't just conducting standard research. They were holding and testing on a sentient being. She transmitted a carefully edited version of her helmet cam footage, excluding anything that might reveal the creature's true capabilities. "Interesting." Pierce's voice had taken on a tone that Maya recognized from years of corporate service, the sound of someone calculating profit margins and liability risks. "Secure the specimen and await extraction. A specialized team will." A sudden power surge interrupted the transmission. The laboratory's lights flickered, and Maya's suit sensors went haywire. The creature had risen to its full height, its body emanating waves of energy that interfered with every piece of technology in the room. "Araya, what's happening?" Maya demanded, backing away from the containment field. "Unknown energy signature detected. The creature appears to be generating an electromagnetic field that's." Araya's voice dissolved into static. The containment field flickered and died. Maya raised her pulse rifle instinctively, but the creature made no aggressive moves. Instead, it projected something into the air between them, a holographic display of images and symbols that moved too quickly for Maya to comprehend. "I don't understand," she said, lowering her weapon. "Are you trying to communicate?" The creature's response came not in words, but in sensations and fragmented memories that somehow transferred directly into Maya's mind. She saw flashes of its home world, a place of crystalline structures and perpetual twilight. She felt its terror when the research team first captured it, its confusion and pain during the experiments, and its growing understanding of human nature through years of observation. Maya staggered under the weight of the shared memories. "They were studying your ability to interface with technology," she realized. "Your species can manipulate energy fields naturally." The creature made a sound of confirmation, then projected another series of images, this time showing other facilities, other creatures like itself, all being held and experimented on by Stellar Corp. "Commander Rodriguez," Director Pierce's voice cut through the static, somehow breaking through the interference. "Our sensors indicate a containment breach. Protocol dictates immediate termination of all compromised specimens. Stand by for sterilization procedures." Warning lights began flashing throughout the station. Maya's suit computer displayed a countdown. The station's self-destruct sequence had been remotely activated. "They're going to destroy everything," Maya muttered, then turned to the creature. "I won't let that happen. But I need to know. Can you trust me?" The creature's 6 eyes blinked in sequence, and Maya felt a gentle touch in her mind. Not invasive, but reassuring. It understood, and more importantly, it was willing to take a chance on her. Maya quickly accessed the station's systems through her neural link. She couldn't stop the self-destruct sequence, but she could buy them time. Her fingers flew over the nearest console, initiating emergency protocols she wasn't supposed to know about, skills learned from years of questioning orders just enough to develop a backup plan. "ARA, if you can hear me, prep the ship for immediate departure. Override all standard docking procedures." The creature moved to her side, its energy field now working in harmony with her technology rather than against it. Together, they began making their way back through the station's corridors, but Maya knew Stellar Corp would have contingencies in place. As if confirming her fears, Heavy security doors began slamming shut throughout the station, trying to trap them in. The creature's energy manipulation kept them moving forward, shorting out security systems and forcing doors open, but each use of its power seemed to drain it further. "Save your strength," Maya warned as they approached a particularly heavy blast door. "We're going to need it." She was right. As they reached the upper levels, Maya's motion tracker lit up with multiple contacts. Stellar Corp's specialized team had already arrived. Heavily armed security forces trained to deal with exotic threats. The creature's scales shifted to a deeper color, and Maya felt its determination through their newfound connection. They weren't just fighting for escape now. They were fighting to expose a truth that could change everything. Maya checked her weapon and the countdown timer. They had 10 minutes to cross 200 meters of hostile territory, reach her ship, and clear the station's blast radius. Against corporate security forces who would shoot to kill. The creature looked at her, projecting a single clear thought. Together. Maya nodded, a grim smile forming behind her helmet visor. Together. Let's show them what happens when they underestimate both of us. The first security team rounded the corner in perfect formation, their black armor absorbing the emergency lights. Maya counted 6 operators, each carrying experimental pulse weapons designed to disrupt energy-based life forms. They'd come prepared. The creature beside her pulsed with anticipation, its scales shifting to match the darkness of the corridor. Through their mental link, Maya felt its strategic assessment. These weren't just security forces, they were hunters who had done this before. Target acquired. The lead operator's voice echoed through the corridor. "Commander Rodriguez, step away from the specimen and prepare for extraction." Maya's response came in the form of a stolen security override, triggering the fire suppression system. Dense fog filled the corridor as pressurized coolant sprayed from ceiling vents. The creature moved instantly, its energy field disrupting the hunter's thermal imaging. The security team opened fire, their weapons cutting purple arcs through the fog. Maya rolled behind a support pillar, returning fire with precise bursts from her pulse rifle. The creature's abilities gave them an edge. It could sense the electrical signatures of the hunter's equipment, predicting their movements. Through their connection, Maya received flashes of tactical information. The creature wasn't just fighting. It was analyzing their opponent's weapons and armor, recognizing them from previous encounters. These hunters had raided other facilities, captured more of its kind. "They're hurting us," Maya realized as another security team appeared at the opposite end of the corridor. "Era. Status report." Her AI's voice crackled through partially scrambled comms. "Ship systems ready, Commander. But detecting multiple hostile vessels in proximity. Our departure window is closing." The creature suddenly projected an urgent warning. Images of something massive moving through the station's maintenance shafts. Something cybernetic, enhanced with technology stolen from its captured kin. The wall beside them exploded inward, revealing a nightmare of metal and modified alien tissue. The hunter-killer unit stood 3 meters tall, its frame built around a core of harvested energy manipulation organs. 6 mechanical arms ended in various weapons, and its sensor array pulsed with the same iridescent patterns as the creature's scales. "This is what they've been doing," Maya whispered, horror and rage mixing in her chest. "They're not just studying your people. They're turning you into weapons." The hunter-killer's response was immediate and devastating. Energy beams sliced through the corridor, forcing Maya and the creature to separate. The security teams pressed their advantage, coordinating with the cybernetic monster in a well-practiced attack pattern. But they hadn't counted on the depth of connection between Maya and her alien companion. As Maya provided covering fire, the creature reached out with its power, not to attack, but to communicate. Its energy field resonated with the harvested organs inside the hunter-killer, calling to its murdered kin. The massive machine faltered, its systems conflicting as the integrated alien components responded to the creature's call. Maya saw their chance. "The coolant pipes," she shouted both aloud and through their link. hit the junction. The creature understood instantly. It channeled its power while Maya fired, their combined assault rupturing the station's coolant system. Pressurized liquid nitrogen burst from the pipes, flash freezing everything in its path. The hunter-killer's joints seized, its modified organs failing under the extreme temperature change. Maya and the creature ran, leaving the security teams to deal with their malfunctioning weapon. But the brief victory came at a cost. The creature's energy levels had dropped dangerously, its scales dulling to a muted gray. "Save your strength," Maya urged as they approached the final stretch to her ship. "I'm not losing you now." Through their connection, the creature shared something urgent: coordinates, specifications, security protocols, information about other facilities where its people were being held. It wasn't just fighting for its own freedom. It was entrusting Maya with the means to save its entire species. The station's self-destruct countdown reached critical levels, and Maya's suit sensors detected multiple ships moving to blockade positions. Director Pierce's voice cut through all frequencies. "Commander Rodriguez, your actions constitute a severe breach of corporate security. Stand down immediately, or we will be forced to consider this station's destruction a regrettable accident, with all hands lost." Maya reached the airlock to her ship, her mind racing through possibilities. The creature's knowledge had given her leverage, but Pierce would never let them leave alive if he knew what they'd discovered. Unless... "Aria," Maya commanded, "initiate Protocol Omega. Broadcast everything we've recorded. The experiments, the hunter-killer, all of it, to every independent news network in the sector." "Warning," Aria responded. "Protocol Omega will violate multiple confidentiality agreements and likely result in permanent termination of your employment." The creature pressed its scaled head against Maya's helmet, sharing a final thought. An image of freedom, not just for itself, but for all those still trapped in stellar corpse labs. Maya smiled. "Good," she said. "Let's give them something worth firing us over." The airlock doors to Maya's ship sealed behind them, just as Protocol Omega initiated. Across the sector, secure communications channels erupted with leaked footage of Stellar Corp's illegal experiments. But they weren't safe yet, not even close. Multiple incoming vessels detected, Aria announced as Maya strapped into the pilot's seat. Corporate heavy cruisers emerging from FTL. They're charging weapons. The creature settled into the co-pilot's position, its weakened state evident in the dim pulsing of its scales. But through their mental link, Maya felt its determination. It pressed its elongated fingers against the ship's control panel, and suddenly Maya's modest transport vessel hummed with enhanced power. "You're integrating with the ship's systems," Maya realized, watching as her standard controls transformed with alien efficiency. The creature's energy manipulation abilities weren't just weapons. They were meant for this kind of technological symbiosis. Warning klaxons blared as the station's self-destruct sequence entered its final phase. Maya engaged the engines, her hands moving in perfect sync with the creature's energy field. The ship responded like never before, systems operating at peak efficiency as human and alien worked as one. They cleared the docking bay just as the first explosions began ripping through the station. But freedom wasn't going to be easy. Pierce had assembled an entire blockade. 5 corporate cruisers formed a kill box, their weapon systems tracking Maya's ship. "This is your final warning." "Commander," Pierce's voice carried an edge of desperation now. "The data you're broadcasting is classified under galactic security protocols. Stand down, or you'll be declared an enemy of humanity." Maya glanced at her alien companion, who was projecting images of other facilities, other captured beings. "No, Director. I think humanity needs to know exactly what kind of enemies we've been making." The first volley of corporate weapons fire lit up space around them. Under normal circumstances, Maya's ship wouldn't have stood a chance. But with the creature's enhancement of their systems, they danced through the barrage like quantum particles, impossibly fast and unpredictable. "They're deploying fighters," Aria reported. "And something else. detecting multiple energy signatures similar to our companion. Through the view screen, Maya watched in horror as each cruiser launched what looked like modified escape pods. The pods split open in space, revealing more hunter-killer units, each one powered by harvested alien organs and modified for space combat. The creatures' distress pulsed through their link. These weren't just weapons. They were graves, each one containing pieces of its murdered kind. But beneath the sorrow, Maya felt something else: rage and a plan. "You want to try something dangerous, don't you?" Maya asked, already knowing the answer. The creature's response came in technical specifications, a way to amplify its power using the ship's systems, creating a feedback loop that could reach the hunter-killers. "Warning," Araya interjected. "Proposed energy amplification exceeds safe parameters. Ship systems may not survive the power surge." Maya watched as the hunter-killers closed in, their weapons charging. Behind them, the station's destruction created a rapidly expanding field of debris and radiation. They were running out of options. "Do it," Maya commanded, rerouting power to support the creature's plan. Araya, divert all non-essential power to the quantum harmonics. The creature's scales began to glow with increasing intensity as it connected more deeply with the ship. Through their link, Maya felt the strain it was under. This level of power could burn out its energy manipulation organs permanently. The hunter-killers opened fire, their enhanced weapons tearing through space. Maya piloted on instinct, buying time as the creature's power built to critical levels. Warning lights flashed across every console as ship systems redlined. Then, at the perfect moment, the creature released its gathered energy. A pulse of iridescent power exploded outward, washing over the hunter-killers like a tsunami of pure force. The harvested organs within each unit resonated with the pulse, responding to the creature's call. One by one, the hunter-killers stopped firing. Their mechanical components fought against their organic cores as the creature's power awakened something within them, a remnant of consciousness, a memory of what they once were. "Pierce," Maya broadcast on all frequencies, "your weapons are turning against you. Stand down, or watch your entire fleet tear itself apart." The hunter-killers began turning their weapons on the corporate cruisers, their programming corrupted by the awakened consciousness of their organic components. Maya felt the creature's satisfaction through their link, but also its fading strength. The power surge had cost it dearly. "This isn't over, Rodriguez," Pierce snarled as the corporate ships began retreating. "The board will never let this." "The board won't have a choice," Maya cut him off. "Check your secure channels, Director." Protocol Omega didn't just broadcast to news networks. Every corporate shareholder, every government oversight committee, and every alien rights organization just received complete documentation of your experiments, including the coordinates of every black site facility. As the corporate fleet jumped to FTL, Maya finally allowed herself to breathe. But their victory had come at a price. The creature slumped in its seat, its scales barely glowing now. Through their weakening link, Maya felt its life force ebbing. They had won the battle, but if they couldn't get help soon, the cost of victory might be too high to bear. Maya's ship limped through the quantum wake of their desperate escape, systems struggling to maintain power after the creature's extraordinary display of energy manipulation. In the co-pilot's seat, her alien companion lay still, its once brilliant scales now dark and lifeless. "Life signs critical," Araya reported. "Cellular degradation accelerating. The power surge appears to have damaged its core energy matrix." Maya refused to accept defeat, not after coming so far. Through their weakened mental link, she could still feel the creature's presence, dim, but fighting. It had trusted her, shown her the truth about Stellar Corp's atrocities, and given everything to free its captured kin. She wouldn't let it die now. "Plot a course to the coordinates it showed us," Maya commanded. "The nearest hidden facility." "Commander," Araya cautioned, "our broadcast has alerted authorities. Those facilities will be in chaos." "Exactly. And they'll have medical equipment designed specifically for these beings. Maya's hands flew over the controls, pushing their damaged systems to the limit. They'd been studying them for years. They'll have ways to restore energy matrices. The journey pushed both ship and crew to their limits. Maya stayed awake through chemical stimulants, monitoring the creature's fading life signs while navigating through increasingly hostile space. Their broadcast had shattered Stellar Corp's secrecy, but the corporation wasn't going down without a fight. They arrived at the hidden facility on a moon of gas giant to find a scene of revolution. The freed energy beings, empowered by the creature's awakening pulse, had overwhelmed their captors. The facility's security systems lay in ruins, and the few remaining human staff had barricaded themselves in the upper levels. Maya carried her weakened companion through halls bearing signs of recent combat. The creature's weight felt impossibly light, its body temperature dropping. Through their fading connection, it tried to tell her to let go, to save herself, but Maya had come too far to give up. In the main laboratory, they found others of the creature's kind, dozens of them, in various states of recovery from their own imprisonment. Their scales rippled with colors Maya had never seen, and their combined energy signatures made the air itself feel alive. The freed beings surrounded Maya and her companion, their multiple eyes studying the strange pair, a human carrying one of their own. Maya felt their combined consciousness brush against her mind, far stronger than her link with her companion. They were deciding her fate. "Please," Maya said aloud, though she knew they could read her intentions. "Help it. It sacrificed everything to free you." For a moment, nothing happened. Then one of the beings stepped forward, larger than the others, its scales shimmering with patterns that spoke of authority and age. It reached out with both hands, touching Maya's companion with one and Maya's forehead with the other. The connection that followed overwhelmed Maya's senses. She saw the creature's world as it once was, a civilization built on the harmony between energy and matter, technology and life. She felt their first contact with humans, the excitement of meeting another sentient species, and then the betrayal as corporate interests turned that contact into exploitation. But more than that, she felt their recognition of what she and her companion had achieved. Their actions hadn't just freed the captured beings, they had forced humanity to confront its choices. The broadcast had reached across the galaxy, and already other species were responding, demanding investigations and offering aid. The elder being channeled energy into Maya's companion, its own scales dimming as it shared its strength. One by one, the other freed beings joined, forming a circuit of power and healing. Maya felt her companion's consciousness strengthen, its presence in her mind growing clearer. Through their renewed connection, the creature shared something new. Not memories or tactical information, but a name. Its true name, in the language of its people, a pattern of energy that translated to Dawn Singer, a name it had been forbidden to share in captivity, now freely given to her. As Dawn Singer's scales regained their luster, Maya felt tears running down her face. The elder being released them both, stepping back to join its kind. Their combined consciousness shared a final message with Maya. They would remember this. Humanity had wounded them, but through her actions, they saw hope for reconciliation. Warning signals blared through the facility, ships entering orbit. But these weren't corporate vessels. The energy beings' combined senses recognized the signatures of galactic peacekeeping forces, responding to the evidence of Maya's broadcast. Dawn Singer stood on its own now, fully healed. It turned all six eyes to Maya and shared a vision of the future, not a certainty, but a possibility. A future where humans and energy beings work together, sharing knowledge and technology as equals. A future they could build, starting here. "Commander Rodriguez," Araya's voice broke through the moment. "Peacekeeping forces are requesting permission to board. They're offering amnesty and protection for all survivors." Maya looked at Dawn Singer, then at the assembled energy beings. She had started this mission alone, expecting nothing more than another corporate salvage operation. Instead, she had found something far more valuable: The chance to right a wrong, to help shape a better future for both species. Tell them we'll meet them topside, Maya said. We have one hell of a story to tell. Dawn Singer's scales rippled with approval, and through their link, Maya felt its joy. Not just at being free, but at being truly seen and understood. They had begun as captor and prisoner, become allies in survival, and emerged as something new. Proof that even in the darkest places, compassion could light the way forward. Together, they walked toward the surface, ready to face whatever came next. The nightmare was over. The dawn had come.